Some balaclava upon face, matic in a hand. When I have time for a pam pam, shot a slam me better than.
Test, test.
Bada done.
Bro, that's fucking sick. I cannot believe you're scooting. You need to send that to Matt. He would fucking lift a lid seeing you scoot. On another note, I've been doing big things over here.
Life short, but it's the longest thing that you never do. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is what you need to. Invalidate what you're going through. Don't be a fool. Work on making your life comfortable. Every day we make what water with water watch. No matter how I spend my change, inside I won't ever change. If you're real, you feel the vibes. We don't need to explain. If it ain't, then it ain't. We don't force, we don't claim. How you think you're gonna grow if you always shift the blame? You think it's real clout, but you're tarnishing your name. You ain't gotta say it just because you fought it in your brain. Think they rapping cause they rhyming, me and them we ain't the same. They say good things come in free, things are better when they're free. People out here I can't please, I feel better doing it. Spent my days on the streets, moving slow like I ski. Destined for the T.O.P. EMZ.
I see this life thing, I see it. Perspective. Don't let nobody mash up your head with theirs. Free up your mind, free up your life. You know what I mean?
Had to empty my mind, now I'm for the belly. Gave too much of my time, now I'm for the belly. Couldn't keep you close, I had to let you go. Had to empty my mind, now I'm for the belly.
Have your eyes adjusted to the dark yet, Raider? Loot is ripe for the
Let's go to the
while
launch
most
towers.
of Toledo is asleep, though my suppliers say that Ark is twice as vigilant after sunset.
What's up, bitch? Fuck ass bitch! You're still dying. You're still dying, bitch. Oh shit! Come on, buddy, you almost got me. You almost got me. Just kidding. Ah, look at that. I didn't die. Stupid ass. Stupid ass, bitch. Oh, and then look at me, not dying. Crazy. Absolutely absurd. Stupid bitch. us out. Oh boy, here we go. Hey yo, hold up.
If you're looking to chat, Apollo is more than happy. You'll like this.
Obviously, I'm gonna have to fuck somebody up, because, like...
This is Tianwen. Raider camps come in all shapes and sizes. If you spot a shack made of mostly corrugated sheets, that's probably one of ours.
I hear you lobbing your rebellion shots, and it just makes me want to stab you in the fucking head.
Yo, friendly.
A year. You're not even up here.
Yo. Go, bro.
What's up?
Probably not over. Hoping to find something good.
All I'm looking for is non-duplicate blueprints.
I'm gonna try to find the Tempest blueprint. So hard, man.
Good luck.
Stella in Buried City. Can't get that, bro.
Two fucking smoke grenades, bro.
What?
Two smoke grenades. That's it.
Wow. Another smoke grenade.
Yo, I don't want to play. I don't want to play.
Yo.
I think
You're good.
my God, oh, that's completely my bad. I want this shoot thing. I can heal you.
Yeah.
How about you shoot me? You can shoot me. I'm allowing you. You can shoot me.
Bunch of junk, bro. Lockers.
help me. Someone help.
What the fuck? Did you really just fall to your death, Doc?
Bud. Come here, bud. Guys, should I revive him, guys? Oh.
Nope, you shouldn't.
Well.
He didn't have shit.
Oh,
anyway.
he had nothing. Golly, what the hell? I had a defib and everything. He just, nope. No!
Get under the staircase, bro.
Oh, it didn't help.
Get inside.
What's up?
Doing well. Doing well.
Shani here. If you spot one of the surveyors, try to stun it before you engage. They're said to be full of rare Arctech, so we might both come out of this ahead.
It's going well. Also, you're not showing up as a viewer, so I don't feel like you're actually here. So,
I have a giant dildo in my butt right now.
you're so fucking... Okay, buddy.
Standing on top of me.
Hey guys, so in RuneScape related news today, someone asked on the Unethical Life Pro Tips Reddit on what they should do with their ex-boyfriend's RuneScape account. And the 2007 Scape Reddit saw this and was quick to respond.
Train Slayer to 99. No doubt that would ruin the mental for a long time.
That would actually suck.
Apparently he was a boyfriend of 5 years and he dumped her over the phone. Now, I'm definitely not the type of guy to want to get revenge. I think that is really wrong. So here's what I wouldn't do. Definitely don't rock cake his hit points to 1, withdraw all of his items from his bank, and trek to the far corners of the wilderness at the Wilderness Agility Arena. Because when he would log in, he would have to witness some player killer in Xerishan robes taking his entire bank before his eyes. Welcome back to RuneScape Chronicles. My name is KempQ. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy these weekly updates. Everything in the Getting Around blog has passed the polls, and we already got 2 of those changes in today's game update. The highly anticipated Hooded Slayer helmet and Holy Molies have been added to the game, so it seems like all of those Reddit posts finally paid off. However, today's game update caused some issues with navigation arrows for sailing, something that couldn't be fixed with a hotfix, forcing the devs to do a cold fix and announce the servers are going offline for a while. Dumb game. We also got some big bug fixes, including a fix to the Brittle Isle Clue stash, which was deleting people's darts within their blowpipe whenever a blowpipe was added to it. Now, the Winter Summit is coming up on Sunday, January 25th, and more about that later on in the video. But that's not all that is happening on Sunday. Just yesterday, Solo Mission announced that he's hosting a Deadman Factions event featuring over 100 creators. So many of your favorite creators will be there, but even bigger names out of the broader RuneScape sphere will be there too, like Tyler1, Tierzu, and Austin Show.
Who wants some socks?
So this is going to be the biggest creator event we have ever seen. And it goes live at 4 p.m. GMT or 11 a.m. EST, just 4 hours before the Winter Summit begins. So if you're looking for something to watch before the summit, make sure to tune in. There's one section of the game update today that went relatively unnoticed by players, but it actually seems like a response to one of the community's biggest concerns. The legacy Java client is being discontinued on January 28th, 1 week from today. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, you don't use the legacy client. Yeah, you and me both. I use RuneLite. But what if I told you the legacy Java client was one of the biggest clients used by botters to run their scripts? And you know how me, Solo Mission, and other creators made a big stink about all of the bots last year? Well, now Jagex seems to have cooked up a plan to get rid of one of the main clients used by botters. For the few people that were using the legacy client, it seems you'll have to make the transition over to RuneLite, HDOS, or the official client. I know a lot of you guys have noticed there are still bots everywhere in the game, and more likely than not, many of these bots are using the legacy Java client to run. I think a lot of players expect Jagex to just up their anti-cheating systems. I'm included in that. Nice. Oh, perfect. But it's really not that simple to eradicate the bots. Jagex is banning them at record rates, more than they ever have in the history of the game. Here's a screenshot we were able to get from a botting Discord showing how many accounts a player had lost due to bans in the past month. Just this one bot owner was running over 2,000 accounts in the last month because 2,095 of his accounts got banned. Regardless of how good the anti-cheating team is, with the amount of bots flooding the game, it's pretty much impossible to keep up, which is why they have to retire the legacy Java client, hoping that will make some kind of dent. So next week, once you can't play on the client, does that mean all of the bots will be gone? I wish I could say yes, but the reality is no. It may significantly reduce the bots for a short period of time, but bots are already using other clients like RuneLite. It's a never-ending fight, but we can rest easy knowing this will wipe out a lot of the bots in the short term. Now, I'm still hoping they take my bot nuke proposal, which puts a limit on how much self-generated value new accounts can transfer to other accounts, but the JMods haven't told me if they're working on that. They're probably not allowed to if they are. I still think it's a great proposal. It really would nuke the bots, but I'll let you guys know if we hear any updates on that. Have you ever thought about how long it would take to train to 99 runecraft on a free-to-play account? Well, Autumn Elegy did it. And aside from killing all the Ankus for the bone shards, it took him about 2,000 hours. But there's another grind I've done before similar to that, which luckily you'll never have to do because of today's community channel sponsor, boot.dev. The similar grind is getting a degree to prove you can code. I still think I have PTSD from how much it cost. But these days, you don't need to suffer like I did. Boot.dev is the smarter way to do it. For a fraction of the cost and sanity, they teach you back-end web development from start to finish, mastering Python, SQL, and Go. It speaks our language. It takes that rush of progression we love in Gielinor and applies it to coding. You can earn XP, unlock achievements, and actually enjoy the grind. Plus, they offer a 30-day no questions asked refund policy if you decide it's not for you. I genuinely believe this is a great resource. I highly recommend them for leveling up your technical skills. So go to boot.dev and use code RuneScape Chronicles to get 25% off your entire first year on the annual plan. And thanks to BootDev for sponsoring the community channel. RuneScape is currently celebrating its 25th birthday, and Jagex has made some massive changes. RuneScape 3 just held its Road Ahead Summit, Dragon Wilds is set to have its first ever Summit-style presentation livestream, and a lot of creators from all walks of RuneScape have gotten together at the Jagex HQ to celebrate. So the event was just laughs and fun, right? Well, actually, SkillSpecs thought it would be funny to talk trash about Iron Man to Foe. Yeah, he'll never do that again. That's an S-tier SkillSpecs PK from Foe. Well done. And to celebrate, all of the RuneScape channels collaborated to create a celebrating 25 years video. And we got some very big reveals in this video.
What better way to do that than to go bigger and better on the ultimate fan celebration?
RuneFest is back.
Yep, RuneFest is back, and apparently it's going to be bigger than ever. Tickets aren't quite on sale yet, but we do know the event will be taking place between October 3rd and 4th. And it'll be held at the same place it was last year, the Birmingham Neck. 3,000 tickets were sold for the March 2025 RuneFest, and 6,000 tickets will be made available for this RuneFest. But still, they sold out really fast last year, so I think they're going to sell out really fast this year too. So look out for those. If you can't make it specifically because you live in North America, then keep listening, because Mont Kieran announced this.
We're also keen on doing more events beyond RuneFest. North American players have been asking for an event for a long time, and we're very pleased to announce that in 2026, we're finally hosting an event in the United States of America. We're partnering with Solo Mission to bring the Deadman All-Stars finale to you, live and in person.
Yep, we're getting our first North American RuneScape event. The Deadman All-Stars finale will be hosted live at the Rosemont Theater in Chicago, Illinois on June 20th of this year. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go. That would be really exciting stuff. But Kemp, that's all so far in the future. What can we look forward to now? Well, I'm glad you asked, because Old School RuneScape's Winter Summit is 4 days away, and players are speculating that this may be the best summit we'll ever get. These are my personal predictions. We know Deadman is releasing on the 30th of January, so I'm sure that will be briefly mentioned. But what else? The Blood Moon Rises, the conclusion to the Myrique questline, was mentioned in the last summit, so I think we could see a release date for that. Plus, we recently got a League 6 announcement, so I'm hoping we get more information on the new leagues coming to the game. And I have a feeling we're going to get some information regarding the highly anticipated Raids 4. I don't think we'll get a concrete release date just yet, but I could see them giving us a release window, and more importantly, a look at the new rewards to come. But here's the thing. All 3 combat styles already have a mega rare from each respective raid. So what would the mega rare be from Raids 4? Reddit user Don't Use This Name 1 Reddit user had a humorous yet interesting idea. A scroll of truth, revealing that the player has more than one finger. It's an interesting idea. It'd be extremely strong to allow players to wield multiple rings, seeing how you could use a light bearer with any other ring in the game, but mega rares are meant to be extremely strong, so who knows what crazy thing Jagex will do. If you were to add a mega rare to the game, what would it be? It'd be interesting to see your comments, and maybe the mods will take what you say and bring it to fruition. So leave your suggestion down below. Now, I don't go on Facebook much, but there have been some RuneScape content creators posting on there recently, and one post from the community has caught my attention. There's a popular Facebook page called Artistic RuneScape Memes, and recently the player who runs it shared something beautiful. They wrote, "My mom used to play RuneScape with me back in maybe 2007 to 2009. A few years ago, she developed dementia and can't remember much of anything. I tried to get her back into old school RuneScape to see if it would spark something, and she actually got back into it. She remembers almost everything, even Varrock and how to get to Karamja. She remembers my username even when she can't remember my real name. Wow, RuneScape memories can even overcome dementia. That's incredible. Thanks for sharing, and I hope you and your mom can enjoy Gielinor together for years to come." And now for some smaller news you may have missed. Have you ever wondered what mega rares would look like if they came from the other raids? Reddit user 50 Shakes of Whey cooked up some really cool designs, showing how certain mega rares would look if this was the case. Check out that scythe from the Chambers of Zarek. Very cool. And for all of you who like to kill bosses in the fastest time possible, here are some notable records which were recently set. A new fastest Tombs of Amascut expert time has been achieved, a 13:24, beating the Grandmaster time by over 4.5 minutes. The Theater of Blood 4-man record was beaten with the team shaving off 7 seconds and nearly getting the first sub-12 minute raid in the process. And the Theater of Blood 3-man record was also beaten with a time of 13:26.4. But that's not all, because another team was able to tie this time down to the exact game tick, meaning there is now a 2-way tie for the world record. The competition is fierce. If you guys would like to go over these runs and do a breakdown of the plays, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to do that. I really love speedruns. And last but certainly not least, over 220 microtransaction items in RuneScape 3 have been altered. Some will be obtainable through other gameplay, some will be removed entirely, and some will be kept but unavailable to get again. Many items like the OP Lucky items from Treasure Hunter are tentatively going to be removed from the game in January 2027. Seems like the game's health is going in a good direction. And to close out our weekly videos, we're going to start featuring the top Discord submission of the week. This week's submission of the week comes from Poon Metal, who is PKing at the Rev Caves with some serious risk.
Oh, good fight, sir. Yeah, we rich.
His opponent was not expecting an AGS spec after the Blood Barrage. And the loot? 651 mil. Well done, sir. And just doing a slow-mo of that clip again, I think the opponent thought that he splashed his freeze. That's the beauty of using the Blood Barrage spell. It doesn't tell the player that they've been frozen, so there was no warning message to indicate that he did or didn't splash. Very sneaky. And whichever creator you liked most from this episode, go in the description below to find that creator's link and tell them that RuneScape Chronicles sent you. That can mean a lot to them. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next Wednesday, and with Deadman shortly after that.
Known to mankind, and the Emirates had gotten off with hardly a slap on the wrist. In Yemen, a rebel group called the Southern Transitional Council had taken over nearly the entire country with the Emirates' help, capturing oil, thwarting Saudi Arabia, and demanding recognition as a new sovereign state. In the breakaway regions of Somaliland and Puntland, the UAE has transformed airports and seaports into the most important points in a new regional axis, and in Libya, it seemed clear just weeks ago that the Emirates were going to make something big happen, and very soon. But across the first few weeks of 2026, the true nature of Abu Dhabi's new axis was revealed for the entire world to see. Not some grand political machination, but a paper tiger, an illusion that would fall apart when faced with even the slightest resistance. The United Arab Emirates have gone from ascendant to retreating in record time, and now there's a very real chance that the UAE will be made to pay for its transgressions, some of which are deadly serious. You see, there's 4 little letters that really matter in geopolitics. F-A-F-O. And after years spent rounds with international affairs across the wider region, it appears that the United Arab Emirates is about to find out. Yemen revived. On the 18th of December 2025, our team at Warfronts published an episode called Yemen is Dead, Here's What Will Replace It. At the time, a powerful breakaway Yemeni faction, the Southern Transitional Council or STC, was on the rise. With the help of Emirati armored vehicles, Emirati-supplied but Chinese-made howitzers, and Emirati advisors on the ground, the STC had thoroughly kicked the arse of Yemen's internationally recognized government, which is, in turn, backed up by Saudi Arabia. During its shock offensive, the STC had taken over most of Yemen's oil fields, the entirety of its border with Oman, and its southern coastline, and so much territory that it could now lay claim to the same area that had once been the former state of South Yemen. As the SDC expelled the Republic of Yemen government from the port city of Aden, they proudly began laying out their case for Western onlookers. Recognize them as a sovereign state, give them a few weapons, and they'd get to work kicking the arse of the Houthi rebels, Al-Qaeda, and any other terrorist organization that dared step onto Yemeni soil. Make no mistake, at that moment, the SDC really appeared to have done it. The Saudi-backed government, and more importantly, the powerful tribal militias that backed it up, practically had retreated from their territory as the SDC advanced, refusing to fight for cities or strategic highways and even fleeing onto Saudi soil in order to get out of their way. But the SDC and the United Arab Emirates that had backed it for years would soon find out that their celebration was very premature. Now, we should mention for our regular Warfronts viewers that, yes, the plot twist that comes next has been something we've wanted to share with you, but as you probably noticed, Venezuela, Iran, and the entire Western Order have all found their way into the shit. It has indeed been a busy few weeks. But while the world has been transfixed on chaos and upheaval in other countries, Saudi Arabia and its tribal allies got to kicking some serious arse in Yemen. When those tribes made their way onto Saudi soil, they weren't in a state of retreat. They were regrouping, gathering into a single united force that was tens of thousands strong and preparing for a massive counterattack. Nor did they simply plan to carve out a buffer zone or take enough of their own territory back that the Republic of Yemen government could still survive. They were coming for all of what the SDC had taken, and even the territory that the SDC had lived on for years. And this time, they had air support. Now, in order to understand what happened next, we've got to understand a couple of things about the way that fighting works in Yemen, because it's very different than anything you'll see almost anywhere else on Earth. Military offensives in this part of Yemen take place across massive, empty stretches of desert, using relatively small groups of fighters who can move rapidly in all directions and who tend to travel fairly light. Because they don't have many people to spare, they avoid urban combat, where battles can become very costly very quickly. But between the sheer mobility of an attacking force, the relatively small number of defenders you'll find in a given area, and the fact that nobody wants to fight to the death in cities and towns, this style of warfare overwhelmingly favors an attacking force, no matter which force is doing the attacking. But when it was the SDC's turn, Saudi-backed tribal forces had two choices. Fight exposed, in the open desert, at risk of being cut off and surrounded by attacking forces that were constantly on the move, or give up territory and live to fight another day. But once the SDC had taken all that territory, it had basically switched roles, where now its forces had to choose either to defend in the open desert or retreat. And as hard as it would have been for those Saudi-backed tribes to defend themselves when the SDC was ascendant, the SDC's problems were promising to be so much worse. After all, the SDC had brought that Chinese-made artillery, but the counter-attacking tribes had Saudi air support, and if the SDC wanted to defend out in the desert, then they'd be sitting ducks. Once the Saudi-backed counter-offensive began, the result came quickly and decisively. The SDC lost its vast holdings in the sparsely populated eastern provinces of Hadramaut and Al-Mahra, including the oil fields, the border crossings, and the lucrative southern coastline. Then they lost the southern territory, where they'd been entrenched for many years, and where their separatist movement had real support among the local population. They lost the city of Aden, which they'd held in a practical sense for quite a long time, despite allowing the Republic of Yemen to set up a seat of government there. Finally, they were chased into a sliver of southwestern coastline, where they would be trapped between Houthi forces to the north and incoming Saudi-backed forces from the east. Before long, high-level SDC officials were switching their allegiance, choosing to voice support for the Republic of Yemen government rather than allow themselves to be purged in the aftermath. The SDC's leader fled on a boat across the Red Sea and was then ferried back to the Emirates in disgrace. By January the 9th, the SDC was formally dissolved despite opposition from some of its internal elements, and what had recently looked like the birth of a new nation was confirmed as one of the most stunning military reversals of the modern day. As for the Emirates, they didn't decide to try and hold the line, they didn't send air support, they didn't send mercenaries, and they didn't take any of the other steps that might have allowed their proxy allies to survive. Instead, they left the nation before the counter-offensive was even complete, pulling their military support from the SDC and dooming it to a final collapse. Now, we tell the story of the rise and fall of the SDC, partially to correct the record. Contrary to our earlier statements, it turns out Yemen isn't dead at all, it just fell into a deep coma for a few weeks and decided to make a full recovery. Congratulations to the internationally recognized government, but even a quick glance at the runtime of this episode should probably make it clear the story that we're going to discuss today goes well beyond the victory of Saudi-backed forces in Yemen. Dramatic as it may have been, the SDC's defeat is just one in a series of major setbacks that the UAE is facing. As it is building cities at home, across the growing proxy network that it's spent years cultivating abroad. Collapse of the new Axis. Now, when you think of a Middle Eastern Axis of proxy forces, you probably think of the nation of Iran, and well, rightly so. But while Iran's network of current and former proxy allies have captured the international headlines over the last several years, Tehran is far from the only Middle Eastern capital cultivating an influence network across the Muslim world. Turkey, for example, leans on anti-Kurdish militias across the region and has arguably claims the neo-Syrian government for its own proxy network. Saudi Arabia, as we mentioned, treats the internationally recognized Republic of Yemen as a proxy force. But it's the United Arab Emirates that's been the most active and arguably the most creative in its proxy operations across the Middle East and North Africa. The most important parts of Abu Dhabi's regional network stretch across a total of 4 nations: Yemen, Somalia, Libya, and Sudan. In each of those nations, Abu Dhabi follows a broadly similar playbook, providing support not to the internationally recognized government, but to a powerful rival faction that holds land, exerts political control over that land, and has autonomous fighting forces at its disposal. In Yemen, of course, that was the Southern Transitional Council group that had formally established peaceful arrangements with the internationally recognized government for a few years, but was an independent actor, even if it was playing nice. In Libya, the Emirates support Warlord Khalifa Haftar and his Libyan National Army, which currently controls the majority of Libya's territory, its oil fields, and its other economic assets. In Somalia, the Emirates work with all sides, but they're primarily involved with the breakaway and mostly unrecognized state of Somaliland and the autonomous region of Punt. Finally, in Sudan, the Emirates support the Rapid Support Forces, a predominantly ethnic fighting force that claimed a major portion of Sudanese territory, carried out regular wartime atrocities, and is currently perpetrating a horrific genocide under the cover of that conflict. Now, we're not going to spend too much time discussing the finer points of Emirati geopolitical strategy and fleshing out why they've chosen to support those proxy groups or what they've been trying to accomplish. If you'd like to learn more, we'll refer you to our excellent premium subscription site, France.co, where in late December we published an in-depth article all about why the Emirates have been doing all of this. The article is actually free to read, you don't need to be a subscriber, and while it was written at the time when the SDC was still doing well, it's an enjoyable blast from the recent past. And by the way, if you